because a lot of the conversation about this generation, to me, I agree that this generation of console has been disappointing for one particular side.
Now let me guess which side that is. Airbox!
Okay.
Here we go
I found a
again.
video that talked about the entire generation, and a lot of it seemed to
I mean,
kind of
you hear this PlayStation fanboy grouped up. No, the man's talking about how lousy the PlayStation 5 is, and you was out here capping for it, man. I mean, come on, man. This has nothing to do with Xbox. He's telling people at how bad the PlayStation 5 generation was in comparison to the PlayStation 4 one. Come on, Reforge.
together, almost like smuggling in the mistakes of Xbox being sort of...
The man ain't even talking about Xbox. How you gonna make a reaction to a video of a guy talking about the PlayStation 5? This has nothing to do with Microsoft.
Everybody else and being grouped in with PlayStation. I feel like both companies have been very, very different this gen. So I got a different video from RTG. And remember to support the original creator.
This thing came out 5 years ago.
Ooh.
5. And that's the part that messes with me. Because it just feels like things have been too quiet with the PS5. Sure,
So what does this have anything to do with Xbox, man? I find it so funny that you guys want to blame the platform for the PlayStation 5's inadequacies. I mean, at the end of the day, man, this guy is talking solely about the PlayStation 5, bro. You can't be any more of a fanboy than that. And the man is right. PlayStation 5 has to be, I mean, let's just be honest, the worst generation of PlayStation imaginable.
Some heavy hitters early on, like Demon's Souls Remake, Returnal,
which is a PS3 game.
Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Those were some good times.
Like, respect for mentioning Returnal. I get real tired of people that
kind of had that next-gen feeling. But then, almost like someone forgot to flip the switch, it just all kind of slowed down. The momentum evaporated. Waiting for that tidal wave of exclusive PS5 only titles to wash over me.
Okay, so there it is. I told you there's going to be external criteria these games don't count. So
man, stop with the excuses. The man is talking about worthwhile exclusives. How are you trying to spin this Reforge gaming? Like, what's wrong with you, man? Hear the brother out. And what's even more funny, Horizon, God of War, Ragnarok. Remember, games to one another W that told you guys that the PS5 ain't nothing but another PS4 generation. That's why you have relied heavy on making games for the PS4. And let's not lie, people, they did that pretty early when the PS5 launched. But the difference is, you guys thought it was going to get better, but instead, it only got worse.
What he just did is he took one of the strongest years just completely out of the picture.
Yeah, it was so strong for Sony that they relied on remakes and PS4 titles. Upscale to the PlayStation 5. Yeah, you're right.
Gran Turismo 7, Horizon...
PS4 game.
Forbidden West, and
PS4 game.
God of War Ragnarok.
PS4 game. You just... Let's hear it again.
These games don't count. So what he just did is he took one of the strongest years just completely out of the picture. Gran Turismo 7,
PS4 game.
Horizon Forbidden West,
PS4
God of War
game.
Ragnarok.
All three games that you mentioned are available on the PS4. You just proved the man's point. You just bodied yourself.
All come out.
PlayStation 5's best year was PS4's best year. You big dummy.
Same year. These are exceptionally high-quality games. They've been very, very well reviewed. You can look at the tech breakdowns. You can look at the review scores. You can look at the accolades. Wow. That is probably like the strongest year as far as first-party...
So you're saying that the strongest year... They're not first-party. First off, those games are available on PC. And second of all, those games was also available on another platform that the man had. That's why he was like, yo, where was the signature moments? You know, the moments that made PlayStation what it is. Kind of like how back in 2018 when they had the Spider-Man, the God of War reboot, even though I'm not a huge fan of it. But those games was made specifically for that PS4 console. Not even a PC release. Detroit Become Human, etc., etc. Okay, we weren't out here saying, oh, well, those games are available on the other previous hardware. No. Those games were made exclusively at the time for the PS4 hardware. You cannot make that same argument for the PS5.
Video cadence, that was the strongest year.
Wow.
And with the criteria is it's got to be a PS5 exclusive. Well, then that entire year doesn't count. This is my issue with these types of videos or these types of argumentation. You're not talking about the games. You're talking about a purity test. Well, like the game only counts if it's PS5 only. If we get,
if your guys are talking about exclusives, then yes.
Well, the game only counts if it's first party. There's a bunch of other games that don't count as well. It's very easy to come to this conclusion when you have a list of reasons to just not count good games. If we're going to talk...
Oh, that's funny, because when Xbox has good games, y'all don't seem to count them because they're on PC. Some going to Sony, some going to Switch too. And for some reason, you guys don't count those as good games. But now you want to count PlayStation as good games, even though a lot of those games was made for the PS4. Now all of a sudden they get, bro, this is one. Man, y'all make sure you share this video around all around Twitter, because this man is so damn bitter. I mean, you can't make this up. And the funny thing is, this guy comes off like a PlayStation fan that is truly disappointed with PlayStation this generation. And Reforge Gaming is out here trying to find a way to flip it.
About games, we're going to talk about the quality of games.
Oh, here we go.
I think it's
now
really
it's about
hard
the
to
quality.
argue this gen has been bad, or as he's saying, it never happened.
I don't want to sound ungrateful because, yeah, I've played some great games on the system, but most of them, they weren't even made for the PS5.
Oh!
Midwest. Great game, beautiful even, but I played it on PS5 knowing full well that there was a PS4 version out there.
Oh!
Same.
Again...
you have to explain yourself
like,
there, Jimmy.
One, I think this is a bad expectation to have.
It's a bad expectation? What are you talking about, man? The man probably paid $1,000 from a scalper to get some true next-generation exclusives, and instead all Sony did was throw out some PS4 games, and you out here saying that this man is being ungrateful? What are you talking about? It seems like you accept mediocrity, and this man expects more from PlayStation. That's a real gamer, not you.
So there's cross-gen support for...
People like you is the reason why we got games like God of War, Sons of Sparta, 16-bit graphics. Because a game, it's about good games, it doesn't matter, right? Well, there you go. Blame people like Reforge Gaming as to why the output of exclusives is so bad on PlayStation 5.
Period of time. We were told there was going to be a cross-gen period for a period of time. And if you understand how engines work, this should not be an issue. It just should not be an issue. I've made this argument time and time again. If you have a very, very high-end PC,
here we go.
You can play a game like Cyberpunk and make it look incredible. Turn on path tracing, turn everything
on. That got away. If you've ever wanted to see a grown adult cry in a very composed, quiet way,
there's a lot of ponies crying.
Or specifically, the lack of one, the absence of one. I've been dreaming of that thing for years now, literal years. And I thought for sure that when the PS5 was gearing up to launch, or heck, even a year in, that this was the moment. This was when we'd see that game getting the treatment that it deserves.
And here's the thing. As often as I bring up Sekiro as my favorite FromSoft game, and I
stop with the excuses, Jimmy.
I'm like, I'd play it.
Stop with the excuses. Oh, here we go. What do you got to understand?
This is just one more thing that tons of people would have complained about. They'd have been like, yeah.
No, I would agree, but this is something that a lot of ponies want. I mean, at least this is better than, should we say it, Destruction All-Stars. I mean, come on, man. I mean, even if they did remaster this game the way people wanted, it'd still be another PS4 game in the wheel or the machinery of what PlayStation 5's got going on here. This just shows y'all don't got no games.
You know, yeah, here we go again, another remake. That's all we get are remakes, right? We get a bunch of remakes and remasters. So I get where he's coming from, but that also could have been used as an indictment of the gen.
And you're still getting them. God of War Trilogy, you're still getting remasters and remakes. In 2026, and Sony's talking about remaking God of War Trilogy. I mean, come on, bro. I mean, if you told me, man, if an old school gamer like, hold on, I'm going to go buy me a PS5. What's this? God of War Trilogy? I've already played that 20 years ago. I don't see the need to have to buy these games again. Well, it looks prettier, you know. I mean, come on. At this point, it's a cash grab, man. He doesn't want to admit that the PlayStation 5 got no games.
Just cut a PS4 game originally.
Thank you.
The Uncharted.
It's about time a real PlayStation fan has said it, man. You know, and everybody knows that GameStop was the first person to say that when y'all were running with these 4K 60 FPS narratives. Remember? Y'all know who came up with that first. Me. When I'm like, hold on, these ain't next-gen games. These are just PS4 titles being upscaled to the PS5. And now we got 6 years in. Now we got PlayStation fanboys saying, you know what, man, I'm tired of this, man. Because you know why? Y'all expected something greater. Y'all were like, you know what? I know Sony's being a little lazy right now, but I don't think they're going to go this long with it. That's why he's complaining. He's like, yo, Sony really wasted 4 or 5 years of my life on some false broken promises. And that's why he's hurt.
Sea of Thieves collection, a few decent indies, and yeah, a smattering of third-party releases that ran better on the PS5 than PS4.
There's also a ton of exclusives. I don't know if he's going to list them, but there was games like Rise of the Ronin, Grand Blue Fantasy Remix,
which did not do well. That game sold poorly.
I think there was Stellar Blade.
The games that happened to be exclusive did not, and that game sold better on PC. That game sold bad on console.
Helldivers you couldn't play.
Which is funny because it's all Helldivers 2 is going to Xbox. Stellar Blade's coming to Xbox. So what is the point of a PlayStation? You guys keep saying that Xbox has no games, but yet those same games that you're listing as PlayStation 5 exclusives are played elsewhere.
The other console until recently, so that was a console exclusive. There were plenty of third-party exclusives. There were plenty of second-party games.
Don't say exclusive, say timed exclusive. And they weren't, because those games was on PC.
He also left out Gran Turismo 7.
Gran Turismo 7's a PS4 game. You know what?
In West and Ragnarok, again, that was like the strongest year as far as...
The strongest year was... The strongest year was a bunch of PS4 games. And for some reason, you have the audacity to make a reaction of this guy's video? Bro, you was out here looking stupid.
Party cadence is concerned. There's been plenty.
The best games of PS5 or PS4 titles.
That have been just hitting every year with cadence. When we looked at the list of exclusives that this gen has had for PlayStation players, it's actually very impressive. If you start not counting them because, well, it wasn't a first-party studio, it was cross-gen, well, then, yeah, I mean, you can make any list at that point. Like, it's that, again, that feels like you're kind of stacking the deck. It doesn't...
No. Don't sit here. No. Because what an exclusive was... a game available on one console. You guys have flipped the narrative and have taken this. So now all of it. Now we're going back to it's a Nintendo exclusive. It's a Sony exclusive. Here we go with the excuses, bro. This is all they doing, man. You guys have took these terms and the true meaning of what these terms actually meant and made them what you guys believe they are. Oh well, it's an exclusive. You know what an exclusive is? Where I have no other choice but to buy it on PS5. If you're telling me that I could play the same game on PC, Xbox, or even on a PS4 for crying out loud, then guess what? It is not an exclusive. Same thing with Horizon. Yeah, it might have a little bit more features than Animal Crossing, but like I said, it's not an exclusive. The game is available on Switch 1. So is Pokemon Fire Red an exclusive to Switch 2 when it's also sold on Switch 1? Come on, bro. You guys know what I'm saying is true.
Being fair to what's been playable this gen.
Wow.
What's been only playable on PlayStation this gen. Now, yes, some of these games also hit PC, or they ported later. But day one, for a year, 2 years, sometimes 3 years, a lot of these games were only playable on PS5.
That's not true. Black Myth, Baldur's Gate, some of PlayStation's best games, those were the games that were actually worth playing on PS5, were also playable on Steam. On Steam day and date. So there you go. Helldivers 2 is another example. You guys want to sit there? That was on PC day and date. So all the games that went to PC day and date, which means that they weren't exclusive.
So
Crazy.
Again, I feel like when you do the external purity test thing to discount games, I don't feel like we're talking about games at that point.
I mean, you do it all the time.
Your own preset.
Xbox out here pumping the most games, and y'all discredit them because they're on another platform. Y'all been doing this ever since Xbox put games on PC. And now you PlayStation fanboys have the audacity to talk about, well, it doesn't really matter because you guys have no exclusives anymore. And all of a sudden it's not a problem. Because remember when PS4 came out and they were like, oh, well, Xbox One games are on PC. And now they're the same dudes doing it. Like I told you, man, you guys are just playing catch up. And eventually you will be ending up like Microsoft as well. You guys all know it. This is why you guys are coping.
You know, disposition and preferences. We're not talking about the quality of the games when we get into that discussion.
But doesn't it feel a bit thin for 5 years.
Oh, thin.
I mean, in total.
Now look at that. No. Yeah, because you're a fanboy and you accept everything that PlayStation does. You're everything wrong about video game and Reforge. And yep, I said it. You're everything wrong about this industry. You care more about the company's finances than the games that you're getting. People like you are single-handedly destroying the gaming industry. Stop blaming these Fortnite gamers. It's people like you. I'm sorry. I'm going to keep it 100. Because you guys want to go as far to say, oh, get casual this. But y'all don't put your money where your mouth is. Say whatever you want about those Fortnite players. They support their game. That's why their games exist, and studios like Blue Point don't, because you don't buy their games. You guys lie. You guys brag about it. If you guys took the time playing your precious PlayStation exclusives, then maybe Xbox would be dead. But instead, you'd rather give Microsoft your money instead of Blue Point Studios, which closed down. You know what? Go ahead. You know what?
Game count. I'm talking about signature moments. Things that define a generation.
Yeah, Death Stranding 2 took my breath away many times.
PC.
West did. Ragnarok did. The story in Ragnarok was
PS4 game. You still keep bringing up PS4 games. And the funny thing is, signature moments, that happened like, what, 4 or 5 years? Was it 4 years ago? Come on, man. We should be coming out with bangers every single year. We shouldn't be focusing on the year of 2022 and the great hopes of what Sony was going to end up becoming, which end up being worse than what we imagined.
phenomenal. Yote's absolutely gorgeous. Astrobot was so fun, so charming. Stellar Blade was like my favorite.
Nobody bought it.
Game the year that it came out. I put a ton of hours into Rise of the Ronin. Spider-Man.
Nobody bought it.
And 2's traversal's freaking mind-blowing. Like the fact that you're able to travel that fast in a game. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. These are experiences I've never had before. I mean,
Are you sure? Because Spider-Man 2 is practically just Spider-Man PS4. Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 100. I mean, it ain't that much crazy.
Again, I don't know. It is different. Everybody's different. Maybe none of these games landed on him that strongly. But yes, I have had those moments this gen. I have. Now, maybe you could say, you're a latecomer, Lono. You weren't there for PS3 and PS4. So these.
Oh, you expose yourself. Oh, now we're starting to see what's going on here. Now we're starting to realize why you're a fraud now. You did. I mean, hold on. You built a whole channel on PlayStation, but you didn't start playing PlayStation until PS5? Hold on, what? Man, I've been here since the beginning. We got people like you advocating for this company. No wonder PlayStation 5 is getting worse and not better. Let's hear that again. This is who y'all support.
Strong.
Remember, PlayStation fans, the guy that never played a PlayStation until PS5. This is who you're supporting. Another MBG grifter. That's who you're supporting. Man used to rock Xbox, now he rocking Sony. That's who you're supporting. Straight up grifting, man.
But yes, I have had those moments this gen. I have. Now, maybe you could say, you're a latecomer, Lono.
Wow.
You weren't there for PS3 and PS4. So
Wow, you weren't there. So where was you then? Mr. Gamer, since we want to talk about that lady's achievement, since y'all want to be achievement checkers now, so let's check your gaming resume. Why wasn't you there? Aren't you a PlayStation fan? Why wasn't you there during PS3? Why wasn't you there during PS4? I thought you was a real PlayStation fan. Y'all like, damn, games. I'm telling you, this man exposed himself.
these things have stronger potency. That's fair. I think that's fair pushback. That maybe these games have stronger potency with me because I'm the latecomer. You know? Maybe. And maybe it doesn't land on you. If you've been rocking with PlayStation since the early days, I could see maybe why that would be the case. But man, does this feel like self-inflicted wounds here. This doesn't feel like you're actually doing assessment to the games. It just doesn't.
What are you talking about? The man's been here since the beginning. So just because you see the web slinking in the PS5 version, don't mean we ain't seen it on the other previous generation. That's just you being oblivious as to what's going on. You have jumped on the hype train, just like everybody else in this community, and have built up a whole channel off grifting. Because I don't understand, man, how you talk about how you missed the PS3 as well as the PS4 generation, which to a lot of people was the last good one that we ever had, and you missed it? Wow.
PS2 had GTA 3, Metal Gear Solid 2, Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh, you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? This is what they think about when they think of PlayStation. Third party. This is why y'all don't buy exclusives.
PS3 had Uncharted 2, The Last of Us, Little Big Planet.
Look at that. Keep scratching that head, buddy.
God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn. What's the game that defines the PS5?
Yeah. Okay. So see, I didn't even watch this. I'm telling you, I wonder if that's what it is.
Let the man speak.
I really do.
Let him speak.
I wonder if I have more of a predisposition to be like, these games are so incredible because I didn't go through that era that he just listed. So maybe it's harder to wow him now. I've talked about this before. I call it the metamorphosis principle. You basically go through a metamorphosis every time you play a game. I like this guy.
Oh. And it's not just about how many exclusives we got. It's the spacing of them. I think that's what's really bothering me because we do have a decent amount of games on the PS5 that are
crazy. You know what I'm saying? This man has spilled the whole beans, and Reforge Gaming has spilled all the coffee. All the hot coffee all over the floor by saying, I wasn't there for PS3. So, of course, when they see God of War Trilogy, of course they get excited about it. But so when they see Spider-Man swinging around New York City, of course they get excited about it. Because they weren't really playing these games. They weren't playing them. But we have. The real gamers have. See, that's the difference between him, myself, and several other people in this community that you have spilled the beans. You have built up your channel being a PlayStation fanboy, and I would probably guarantee you never even played PlayStation 1 and 2 either. I don't know how you could call yourself a gamer by missing out on any PlayStation console, especially when PlayStation had nothing but bangers during PS3 and PS4. I don't understand how you even missed that generation. I don't even know how you missed that. Like, what? Make sure y'all share the video around. Let's go.
So that's one of the reasons why this gen for some people is just landing weaker, because you're not seeing those games as celebrations. You're seeing them as like degradations when, if anything, I think it's the opposite. I think those games are all wonderful step up from the previous game that they came from. I don't know.
Just because he played it, but he played it though. That doesn't take away the fact that he hasn't played the game, though. That's what I'm saying. You got Sony putting these games out like they're the hardest new games around when this guy's like, yo, I've already played these, though. I've already played them. Good game or not. And then you're telling your audience to have to pay for the same games. It's like they're doing the same thing with Switch 2. I would have been bought a Switch 2. But it's just like with the way Nintendo's going about the library, but here's expansion packs for each of the games that you played on Switch 1. That doesn't make me want to buy one. It really doesn't. You're just buying an upgradable machine at this point to play the same games you've already had access to already. Well, I shouldn't say that because they're expecting you to buy the new version.
Oh, I don't see it the way he does at all. I feel like we've gotten so many great single-player games this gen.
Something along the way, maybe it was the pressure from investors or the growing success of Fortnite, probably, most definitely the growing success of Fortnite. And, someone probably just getting a little too excited about recurring revenue charts. So
that's him. People like him that don't care about the gaming industry, but only care about how much money. 92 mil. Reforge Gaming, what do you think about what this man's saying? He's a hurt PlayStation. 92 mil. 92 mil. Yeah, but you don't hear his concerns. You don't hear that they should probably pump out more than remasters and remakes. 92 mil. That's the excuse that they be using. You see, does that sound like a real gamer to you? 92 mil. That's what they say. That's their coping. They care more about the company's finances than the games that they're actually getting on their platform.
They decided that they wanted to chase live service hard, too. Like, not dabble in it, not experiment with it, but full-on pivot to it.
That's not true. I'm sorry. That's not a matter of opinion. They did not full-on pivot to it. If you look at their financials, their projections, and how...
what are you talking about, Marathon? What are you talking about? All those live... Yo, this man is capping. Y'all got to share this video around, man. I want to make sure I get a lot of views for this one. You is capping, and make sure y'all make videos on this dude, too, in regards to this situation. What are you talking about? They've canceled like 12 to 13. And you saying, Sony hasn't pivoted to that. Helldivers 2, Gran Turismo 7, Concord, Marathon. What type of games are these, buddy? You know what? I'm just going to let him say it, and then I'm done. This is ridiculous.
Full-on pivot to it.
Blue Point Studios literally got closed down because they couldn't make a live service. And you was out here capping, talking about that Sony didn't pivot it to it.
That's not true.
That's
sorry.
not true. Blue Point Studios literally got closed down because of it.
That's not a matter of opinion. They did not full on pivot to it. If you look at their financials, their projections, and how much money they budgeted.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, look at that. Here it comes with the finances, Jimmy. Look at that. You see? It's always about the finances. It's never about the games. It's all about Sony financials. Like, bro, look at it. Hear it again. Hear it again. Wow.
That's not true. I'm sorry. That's not a matter of opinion. They did not full on pivot to it. If you look at their financials, their projections, and how much money they budgeted, they're spending more on the single player tentpole titles than they ever have historically. They increased that spend pretty significantly. And then they also increased their spend in live service.
What? Oh, they increased their spend by throwing out remakes of God of War Trilogy? They've increased that spending by throwing out a game like God of War Gods of 16-bit graphics? What the hell are you talking about, man? This man is out here coping. He's out here drinking this Coca-Cola. What is Reforge Gaming talking about, bro? Oh, they haven't pivoted 12-13 live service subscription games. Blue Point Studios literally got closed down because they couldn't make a live service and subscription game. And this man is out here talking about how Sony did not pivot it to that. Even though Helldivers 2 is another prime example. You know what?
Yes, criticize them for the Blue Point thing. Criticize them for Ben Studio working on something. All that's been canceled. I know that's disappointing. Concord wasn't one of their studios, right? It was a big, huge fumble, but it wasn't like they had one of their studios.
That was their... Oh my goodness.
Working on a game. That was something that Firewalk did on their own. That had nothing to do with PlayStation before.
What? Yo, this man. Yo, I swear, bro, this man is capping. Concord had nothing to do with PlayStation. Bro, they literally made a PS5 controller of that damn game. Talking about Sony don't own it. You see the coping that these ponies are doing?
It wasn't like they went to Firewalk and said, hey, make this. Yes, PlayStation made a huge mistake buying them and thinking that the game was going to be huge, but like, they have not pivoted the live service away from single player. That is completely not true at all.
Suddenly, they just weren't supporting a few multiplayer projects here and there. They were talking about launching 12 live service games.
Thank you.
12? Bro,
yeah.
That's not exploring new territory. That's a full-blown invasion. And look, I'm not anti-live service. There's room in the industry for all kinds of experiences. The problem isn't that Sony is trying something new. The problem is what they're sacrificing in order to do it. Studios that were built around strong single-player storytelling games
does not represent the whole picture. It simply doesn't.
Oh,
it's one piece of the picture.
It doesn't represent the whole picture, guys. 12 live. It doesn't represent the whole picture. Bro, how many pictures do you need, buddy?
I just think that's too sweeping.
I'm done. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, man. This man is coping harder than I could ever believe, man. But like I said, make sure y'all share this video around. Make sure the whole world knows what's going on here. But Reforge Gaming, you're most definitely a PlayStation fanboy.